What's going on, everyone? A few months ago now, Nev Campbell, in an interview, said that the roles are sort of reversed in the upcoming Scream 5 film. And ever since that's been said, I've kind of been toying with different possibilities and like what she could have meant by that. So I want to present some different ideas and have our discussion per usual. So make sure you join it down in the comments below. And before we jump into it, be sure to like this video. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Stay up to date with all things Scream. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. So, yes, Nev said that the roles are sort of reversed, and ever since then, it's been sort of on my mind. I've made different videos on, could they be a suspect? And that's one point that we can kind of touch on here is that, they've always been the sort of constant and now the fifth Ghostface attack. However they are incorporated, they're still going to have some sort of involvement. At some point, you have to assume that fingers get pointed at them. I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, And Dewey, I'm a big fan of the Dewey theory. I have an entire video on it. Many other of you have made it known in the comment section during our discussions and stuff that you are as well. There's just a ton of evidence that sort of stacks up showing that he could have some sort of involvement. Gail, she makes a ton of sense because she's had the most to gain by these attacks with the book and her career and just everything. So that makes a bunch of sense. Sydney, I mean, you've had every Ghostface be connected to her directly at some point. So it's kind of like, you got to point the fingers at them. It becomes a little suspicious, becomes a little odd, a little strange. That doesn't mean that they are involved or that they really have a part of it, but the roles sort of being reversed would make that sense of like, usually they're the ones trying to find the suspect. In this film, have them be the sort of suspect. And then that's sort of a role reversal type way. The other sort of idea would be that instead of sort of trying to figure out who Ghostface is and kind of just waiting in the wing, just kind of biding their time until the epic end showdown, so to speak, maybe the roles are reversed in the sense of they're going hunting. Instead of being the hunted, they are now the hunter. Or Sydney specifically. I mean, Nev is the one that said it, that the roles are sort of reversed. She's always been the one that's been the subject of attack. She's been the sort of target, the main focus. What if in this case, she's like, you know what, I'm not the main focus, but I want to take this guy out just on pure principle, and that's another sort of role reversal that adds to the film that would be kind of exciting to see and watch, in my opinion. Be watching Sydney just this sort of warrior in a lot of ways, and it's sort of the trend. I mean, the Halloween 18 is sort of the reference everyone uses for this upcoming Scream film, and it makes sense. I mean, Laurie Strode did the same thing. She waited for Michael to return at some point. What if Sydney's doing something similar? What if Sydney's just like, it's been 11 years, 10 years, whatever, but I know it's coming. I know it's happening again. And instead of hiding or running or whatever, she's like, I'm going into this head on. Let's get this, so to speak. And that would be a nice little sort of reversal of roles. The other thing would be kind of ties into the suspect thing. But one thing that comes to mind would be like, what if they're framed? What if one of them is framed? Like, let's say Gail is framed. Dewey being the sheriff, he has to do his job, but there's that confliction, especially Judy. Judy, if she had a chance to lock up Gail, she'd be on it faster than anything. And especially if Judy is the killer, it would make sense that she would want to sort of set that up and make Dewey vulnerable, get him away from her. I've said this a million times, and I think I'm going to do an entire video on it because it deserves it. But Gail is so underrated. I mean, she is the significant piece in this problem. And I've always said, like, I don't know why Ghostface doesn't go after her first. Like, if I was Ghostface, she'd be my first target. I'm like, I'm getting rid of her, because if I get rid of her, everything else is going to be gravy, because none of these other people are probably going to figure out what's going on. So I would very likely get rid of her first. So it'd be interesting to kind of see her being framed. It would also be an explanation for Sydney to come back. She needs to come back to help Gail. Yeah, you know, their relationship's always been kind of rocky and awkward, but I at this point you can genuinely tell Sydney cares for Gail. Gail and Sydney have that bond. It would also be an interesting way to kind of build on their dynamic, and I would love to see something along those lines. Now, I might even make an entire video on that and go in depth into that more, because I actually kind of like that idea. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now, the sort of last thing, or I guess I could say last two things would be, what if, I guess these kind of tie together. So what if one of them is the Dewey theory? What if one of them is revealed to be Ghostface? What if one of them is not necessarily Ghostface, but has been sort of involved the entire time? Like I said, Dewey makes a ton of sense. Gail has the most to gain. Sydney, I don't think they'd ever do her, just because I think people would riot. But outside of her, I mean, Dewey and Gail could make some sense. I mean, you can make a compelling argument for either. I could see them going in that direction, possibly. I don't think they will. If I had to bet on it, I would say absolutely not. But it is something for that. Again, we're just trying to spitball some ideas as far as role reversals. But the other part that I wanted to mention that kind of ties into this is if they die, whether they be Ghostface or not. What happens if the role reversal is as simple as they die and Ghostface lives at the end? We've talked about cliffhangers and the possibility of Ghostface surviving. We've never really had that. We've always had the same sort of ending as far as Scream goes. Be interesting to see a Ghostface survival that transitions into Scream 6, carries on the trilogy that they're planning on. It's very likely they're going to move off these three in this film. This very well could be all three of their last films. Whether they die or not, it could be it could be their last films. But that's something else that could really be explored. But as always, this is a discussion, and I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any other ideas or thoughts or theories that could sort of make a role reversal? Again, these were just some ones that quickly popped into my mind that I thought were worth discussing. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a fan of the framed idea and would like me to kind of explore that a little more. I'd be more than happy to make a video on that. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, follow by the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. Stay up to date with all things Scream. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.